everyone. We are back for another episode of Hear Me Out. This is our last episode for season 1. So this is the last time you guys are going to see the studio look with its checkered board print. And I actually do want to shout out my husband's podcast, UNFC. If you haven't subscribed,
follow them, please.
Follow them, because a lot of what we enjoy is also because of their podcast. So check them out. We'll tag them on our description.
We're siblings. We're sibling podcasts.
But we want to talk about a pretty fun topic, since you guys tend to love hearing our embarrassing stories.
I wonder why.
Moments. And so we are definitely going to have another one of those to close pretty much this season, which will probably happen less and less as the years go by. Hopefully. But yeah, so we're gonna get started, and I'll start the story for today. I will start with my cringy story.
Well, because in order to give context, before we decided on this topic, we were talking about what is the difference between embarrassing and cringy.
Right.
So we came up with, okay, we can't really explain it because cringy is like it just makes you yes. Right? And embarrassing is like, oh my God, why? Yes. You know, like,
but it's still funny.
But it's still kind of funny, right? Versus a cringe is like, why are you telling me this? I'm cringing too. So we decided, as a treat for you guys, to have two. To have one embarrassing story and one cringy story. So Kes is going to start us off with a cringy one.
Which, now that I'm thinking about it, I just remembered a cringier story, so I'm going to go with that.
Ooh, go.
Because prior to this, we briefed what we were going to talk about. And so when I was younger, much, much younger, not when I was 15, but when I was roughly 7 or 8, I had a really bad habit of, for some reason, having a very compulsive lying habit.
Right.
And I don't know if it stemmed from some of the shows I would watch, or I don't know. I definitely don't think it was the friends that I surrounded myself with, because I was the toxic one. We've talked about that in
Remember, she's the one that had bodyguards.
So, but there was this one incident that I created for myself. I think out of everything, you know, to boost points for my mom has always been the kind of woman that has always believed her kids. You know, I'm gonna believe you because you are my child and I am your safe place. And so if you're telling me that you're getting hurt, you're getting bullied, because, you know, my mom was bullied when she was younger. So it was actually a very close to home area now that I think of it, which makes sense why, as I tell this story, she felt, you know, very protective. So I'm going to tell you what I said, and then I'm going to tell you what really happened.
Okay.
So I came home and I told my mom, Mom, I got jumped today. And she was like, ¿Cómo, mija? ¿Cómo? ¿Qué estás diciendo? And I'm like, yes, you know, these 3 girls, you know, they jumped me. They were punching me and they were kicking me. And una me agarró así, me estaba ahorcando, mami, me estaba ahorcando. She was choking me. I couldn't breathe, Mom. I couldn't breathe. Mija, pero ¿cuándo pasó? Yo estaba así peleando y tratando de que ellas me dejen, Mom. Y me estaban ahorcando y yo no sé qué pasó. And I literally said this. Sentí como el Espíritu de Dios. Yeah, I punched the girl in the nose, right in the nose. I punched her in her face, and she got away, and they ran away. And I just came and I cleaned myself up, Mom. And I just jumped. They jumped me, Mom. And so my mom, and I'm pretty sure I was crying. I'm pretty sure I was, you know. Todo. I was like, no, a ver, explícamelo otra vez. ¿Cómo? ¿Dónde estabas? Well, I was coming out of the class of Mr. Morales, and the girls, they just came up and they were like talking to me and they thought it was funny, and the tall one, she came and she choked me, Mom. She choked me. And my mom was like, oh my God, le voy a llamar al principal. I'm going to call Mr. Morales, your teacher. No, mom, no, please, no, don't do that because, I'm just going to get into more trouble. And just please, mom, just let it be. I wanted to tell you what happened. And I wanted to tell you that I defended myself. I got out of it. I beat the girls up.
Unscratched.
So my mom was just like, ay, mija, pues yo no sé cómo Dios te dio el poder para hacer eso y que te pudiste salir de eso. And I'm like, yes, mom, yes. So see, I'm really scared, mom. I'm really scared. So, I'm sure that my mom and my dad had a conversation that night, like any parent would. What are we going to do?
Mm-hmm.
How are we going to take action? And the next day, one of the girls that I had, because I told my mom who these girls were, I found a girl, one of the girls in the restroom, and she confronted me, and she was like, Kez, why are you telling people that I jumped you?
Oh.
And I was just like, what do you mean? And she's like, yeah, like I'm in trouble. Like, the teacher has already called my parents, and we didn't even do anything to you. Why are you telling people that you jumped me or that we jumped you? And I was like, well, you did. And she was like, no, we didn't, Kez. Like, we never even did that. I don't know why you're telling people that. And I was like, well, you know what? I'm not even supposed to be talking to you, so I don't know what to say. I can't really talk to you. And she was like, but we didn't do anything to you. I don't know why you need to say something because we're in trouble. And so I was just kind of like, whatever. And so my mom, like every day after school, from what little, honestly, I can remember. I just remember the big things. I know she was, instigating me and asking me, ¿y qué pasó? And how are the girls? And how are they treating you? And I told her, why did you tell, Mr. Morales? And why did you tell, blah, blah, blah. And she was just like, mija, es que these girls need to be reprimanded. If they hurt you, if they jumped you, like you said, then we need to do something about it, right? So then my teacher talked to me and, this isn't like these girls to do this, but, I need you to tell me because I was teacher's pet. I was such a good student, believe it or not. So he was telling me, like, if they are manipulating you to lie, I need you to tell me the truth. Don't worry. You're not going to get in trouble. It's not going to get worse for you. And I was like, no. I just made the whole thing up. Trust me. I made the whole thing up. I couldn't lie to him. And so then he was like, oh, okay. These girls are really threatening her because I got scared. I got scared all of a sudden that, like, oh my gosh, like this is getting so big. My teacher is like at this point, questioning me and ready to really like put action with these girls. I was like, no, I made the whole thing up. I made the whole thing up. They didn't touch me. They didn't do anything. Like, trust me, and he was like, I'm going to talk to your mom. So long story short, I started getting therapy classes, and it was, I remember the office and the lady, and she was just kind of like, we need to know what happened. You're in a place, you're safe, you're protected, what time did this happen, what day? And I literally was like, oh my God, like I made it up. It was a lie. Like I didn't. And so she was like, a lot of kids say that to defend, their bullies because they're afraid that, it's going to get worse, But right now, you need to think about other kids. What if these girls are hurting other kids? You need to look out for those kids, And I'm like, you don't understand, lady. Like, I have issues. Like, no, like I don't remember how I got out of it, to be honest. I really don't remember. That part is like blacked out, maybe for a good reason. And I remember telling my mom, and it's like I shattered a part of her, like her trust of like, what do you mean, So what really happened, guys, was that after school, I was in the kind of like courtyard area where they have tetherball y lo que sea. And there was these 3 girls, 3 of which I didn't like. I naturally didn't like these girls. One of which used to be my friend and was my bodyguard, who betrayed me to follow the other queen bee. And so that's why I didn't like her. And so she
It was a conflict of
It was
interest.
a conflict of interest. And so, you know, my friend, the tall one, came to greet me.
Uh-huh.
And she hugged me this way. So I was tiny. I was really tiny, really skinny. And she put her hand on my neck like this. She's like, hey, she was rough, you know, that's why she was my bodyguard. And she literally was like, hey, Kez, you know, how are you? Blah, blah. That instant, like, little kind of like choke lit something in my head.
Oh.
And I don't know why that was like, I could do something with this. I could do something
I
with
can
this.
run wild
You know?
with this.
And that was it. Literally, like these girls were like, hey guys, you know, blah, blah, blah. And I was just like, hi, whatever, you know, like you person trader, you know, whatever. And she didn't do anything. She hugged me. Yes, she slightly, you know, pressed on my chest because she was much bigger than I was, but she didn't choke me. And that ignited a story in my mind that I thought I was going to tell my mom to just get her to be like, oh my gosh, you know, and
Sympathy.
then later, yeah, sympathy. And then later my mom even told me, honestly, like the more that I thought about it, I felt guilty for doubting you. Because to me, the more that I thought about it, it was like, you didn't come with any scratches. You didn't come with your nose bleeding, with anything. And then it was really hard for me to believe that you would punch this girl, you know, let's call her, you know, Michaela or whatever, porque yo conocía a Michaela, you know, era alta. Y para que tú me digas que tú le pegaste así en la nariz, like it was really hard for me to match that, you know, but I felt bad to not believe you because I'm like, no, this is my daughter. You know, what if she did, you know? So I would say that that's cringy for a number of reasons. First and foremost,
this is not your embarrassing.
no, this is not my embarrassing. This is my cringy. I cringe at the thought of the other side of the story. Like these girls are out there in Christmases and New Year's and Thanksgivings and like, oh my god, do you remember that girl? Like, oh my god, this girl literally created this whole rumor that I jumped her, you know, sé qué, and it's like she literally to my face was like, no, yeah, you did do it, you know. That's cringy for me, where like at that point, like someone reacts, you know, and says like, no, I didn't even say that, you know, I don't know who's saying that, but the fact that to the person I'm literally saying, no, yeah, you did this to me, it's like, dude, you're delusional. So that's what's like cringy to me. It's cringy because, you know, that was like a season of like, you know, there was a lot of little stories there, and I feel like I lost a lot of credibility with people, with my parents, with my teacher for sure. And yeah.
Would you say I've always thought of this. Would you say that because you were such a creative person, can you spot when someone is being creative? Let's just call it for what it is. Because you were a liar, can you spot a liar?
Spot a liar? No. No, I can't. And you know why? Because you know the saying, you know, cheaters get cheated.
Oh, okay.
Or thieves get stolen on, you know, I think that's what it is. Or how a good salesman can get sold. You know, if you're, yes, some people can identify it. But I think we fall in our own trap.
True.
Now.
True.
Now. I don't lie anymore like that. You know, like I don't, you know, like, yes, we lie every day. You know, yes, that dress looks nice on you, sister. You know, fat babe. Yes, you know, we lie every day, you know, yeah, babe, your food was good. You know, but you know, to that, you know,
of course,
definitely, you know, a lot changed. But no, I don't think that nowadays, I have that. I actually think I believe people.
You're gullible.
I'm very gullible, and I'm like, no, you know, there's a lot of details in that story. So, what about you?
Because I've always thought that.
I feel like you can spot a liar.
I feel like I can. Yes, I feel like I have a good game for judging character. And I do feel like I can spot a liar. But believe it or not, I don't think it comes from my expertise on lying.
Yeah.
I think it just comes from that, like, part of
details.
Yes.
How are they painting the story?
That part of me of trusting issues. daddy issues, I guess. And so I'm always like,
What's your story?
what,
What are you saying?
yeah, oh, you're explaining way too much, way too much, or that does not match
What
this.
you just said.
Yeah, So I think I'm good at that for my own, because of my own like
Protection.
yeah, because of my own like lack of trusting people.
Right.
But I've always thought those that lie should be good at spotting out. Like it
They
takes one to,
should.
because I believe in like it takes one to notice another one. That's what I think.
I can only spot when someone that I care about lies to me. That's the only area that I feel like I could be like, because I think people do have tells. I think people who lie, think that they're being very smart about it, but they're not. And if you know the person, you should be able to tell if someone's lying to you. But people that I don't know, that just know how to talk, I tend to sometimes be like, no, that sounds right.
That sounds about right. Yeah. I well, true. True. Because I do think that I have more of I'm less cynical about people that I know than people that I don't know.
That makes sense.
And so like sometimes someone will say a joke to me. I'm like, oh my God, that is true.
You do that with me. And I'm like,
and then you're like, it was a joke. I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
But someone will say something that I'm like, really? That really happened? And it's like, no, dude, like I'm being sarcastic or I'm joking or whatever.
I think the other thing that I don't capture it is because I do like to tell stories. Like just like I just did. I enjoy a memory,
getting in the
character and making you feel what I want you to feel. And so when I come across a really good storyteller and I visualize what you're telling me, I take it as truth,
right?
Because for me it's like, wow, how many details you added to that.
Yeah.
You painted a story.
Okay.
So to me it's like, if you are a liar, then you'd be like, well, it didn't really happen like that. Well, but if you're like down to the walls were blue, I'm like, oh, it's because they remember that the walls were blue, because that's what I've done with my stories and
Makes
my
sense.
memories.
I see.
But at the same time, yes, compulsive liars can do the same thing. They just know how to describe a little bit of truth.
And they're never very specific about like feelings and
right.
They're more specific about abstract things. Okay, yeah, that's funny. What about your embarrassing?
Oh.
Or should we do one and one?
Yeah, why you go with cringy? Because I'm still like with my embarrassing story. Like,
men. Well,
men.
I mean, no. I mean, I was gonna say,
men. Oh, okay.
But and then I said, for me, well, I wasn't too far off. My cringy story starts with a boy that I really, really liked. And I gifted him a mug. Very excitedly, I gave it to him. Very like, yes, it might not mean anything to him, but to me, it means a lot.
Yeah.
To me, it meant a lot. So, se lo di, whatever. Like, I probably didn't even, like, I don't know. I don't want to say what he thought, but, But, to my to my soapy story, during that time he liked someone else, and I didn't see that he liked someone else. I really thought, oh, this could be it.
Okay.
So once I realized that he liked someone else, man, this could be my cringe story, not my this is my cringe. Yeah,
right?
Yes. So once I realized that he liked someone else, and then lo and behold, I find out where he kept the mug. And, I'm just there cleaning that area, trying to make the area more organized or whatever. And I see it. And it's there looking at me with eyes of, I'm forgotten. It meant nothing to him. And of course it didn't mean nothing to him because he likes someone else. And I'm looking at it, and the more I'm looking at it, the more I'm like, ugh, why? Why did I give it to him? Why? Like, so embarrassing, whatever. And there's a ladder there, huge ladder there. And I'm thinking, oh, I'm going to move it because it's in the way. only to grab it and put all the weight on top of the mug. Of course, the mug shattered. You know, it was. It is shattered along with my feelings. It's shattered along with. This is it. I'm not gonna like him anymore. You can go with her. I don't care. Oh my god. And the worst thing is that now I had to come up with a story to tell him. And I was just like, oh my god, what do I do? You know. So I come out of that place, whatever. Days later, oh no, I didn't even see him. I texted him, hey, you know, like in an attempt to clean. I moved the ladder and oh my God, I'm so clumsy. You know how clumsy I am. It landed on the mug.
Just right on it.
Right on it. Literally, the mug was like right here. The ladder was right here. How would I have moved it from here to here?
There, right.
And then, miraculously, the ladder was still on the original place. But, you know, I don't know if that guy bought it or whatever. But he's like, hey, don't worry about it. Like, it's cool, you know? And I'm like, and that only made it worse for me because it's like, oh, so it didn't mean anything. It didn't mean anything to you. And then silly me todavía le dice, luego te la repongo. He's like, he says, no, really, don't worry about it. I was like, I really thought I was going to take that story, to my grave. And then one day we're talking with Kez and I'm like, there's something I got to confess to you.
Dude, I like died. I literally was like, oh my God.
I cringe. I cringe thinking about it because it was just so high school. It was just so like, I'm not going to reveal my true age during that time. But it was very unlike me. Yeah. It was a moment of, I lost all composure. I lost all dignity, really. I was just like, he doesn't like me.
I think like when it's funny, it's just like it's that thing that we've all done as women that's just toxic. And then
it's funny because I didn't think I had it in me because for so long I stayed away from relationships. I stayed away from boyfriends and all that, and even liking someone, like the thought of liking someone. I mean, yes, there were guys that I was like, ooh, you know, I have a crush or whatever, but it really never came to nothing.
Right.
And I think this time was kind of like, oh my God, you know, all the check marks are in, kind of in a way. And then only to find out that it wasn't it for him, you know? So, and so to let that side of me come out, it makes me cringe. It makes me just like, oh my goodness. And then the funny part is that I gifted him such a generic mug that wherever I go, I see it.
Oh my God.
And it's a constant reminder of like, that's the type. Never again. And so it's funny because I've been wanting to give mugs to people, and it's like, I don't want to believe that. You know? So I'm like, let's move on. So that's my cringe.
Your cringe story.
What about your embarrassing story?
This is called the catfish story.
I already know it's gonna be good.
When I was 15.
By the way, guys, I don't know if you noticed, but she's always either 16 or 15. She's lingering.
No, I was really 15 because that's the time that I first got a Facebook, when Facebook first came out. So it's actually accurate to the time for those that are trying to fact check or whatever that know me. I was 15. And I had just started learning the world of Facebook. And so nowadays, I should hope that you only follow really people you know. But I know that there's a lot of people that don't really do that.
Right.
It's like I have a bunch of friends, but it's like I haven't even talked to them, or I probably wouldn't even talk to them in daily life, but I follow them, right? So that's where I was, you know, like when I first started, I was just following everyone, you know, just everyone. And
which, by the way, I'm sorry, we do that with Instagram too.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. You still follow that. So there was this guy from a different church, and he was 18. And I thought he was attractive. I thought, this guy's attractive, but I'm 15, and they came for like a special service or whatever. I think we had like a youth service or something along those lines. And that's how I knew him and saw him. And so I followed this person and they followed me back. Now, I don't know if you guys remember this, but there was a time where there were those people that if you followed them or they followed you, they would send you a message kind of like, hi, I don't know who you are, but like I'm following you or whatever. Okay. Or I accepted your friend request. And so I thought, I'm just going to follow him and that's going to be it. Like that's where that ends. But he went ahead and sent me a message. And so I was like, ooh, I've never messaged anyone on Facebook before. This is different. And so I responded like, hi, how are you doing? And we sparked a conversation, right? Now, as previously mentioned, I had a habit of being kind of a very creative person, child, child. And so this person, to me was like a character, because in my head it was like, it's Facebook, like they're not real in a way. Like that's how I thought it up in my head. I'm never going to see this person again. I think they were like from a completely different part in California. So I'm like, I'm never going to see this person again. Like, it's not even like a big deal. So we just started talking, daily little things like, oh, what's your favorite color? Blah, blah, blah. And sparked up a conversation. And because I think I was very creative in my way of speaking, this person thought I was older than what I was. And I never corrected them. They just assumed, oh, you when did you graduate high school? I'm pretty sure, you saw this as well, and I'm like, yeah, I'm pretty sure, like I saw that or whatever. So like, I just kind of went along with, whatever. And it got more serious in conversations, like positive, clean conversations, but how do you feel about this? What do you think about marriage? And, blah, blah, blah. And again, like, I think at that age, I knew how to continue a conversation. So I was very much like, yeah, I think about this about marriage. And I think about this when I have kids and blah, blah, blah. And so this person started to develop feelings for me. Oh. And so I was kind of like, I don't know how to go about this, like, and mind you, this is why, parents you should know where your kids are sending messages on Snapchat, TikTok, lo que sea, because you never know. My mom had no idea, that I even had a Facebook at that time, and so I was just kind of like, yeah, talking. And so they told me, hey, like we've been talking now for weeks, and I really like you. And I'm like, I really like you, because in my head, it's like, I enjoy talking to you. I enjoy talking, these conversations. Like, I like you. I'm so glad that you feel the same way. I really thought you didn't reciprocate. And I'm like, no, yeah, I reciprocate, kind of like, yeah, I like you too, And so we kept talking. And then I started to notice that the conversation was going in a certain direction of like us. Now it was like, so what do you think about our future? What do you think about this? Do you like this kind of thing?
That escalated.
So it escalated, very quickly. And I was kind of like, yeah, I think I would like that kind of yeah, I think I would like this, Mind you, this is going to sound terrible. But like, I didn't think it was real. I didn't think it was a real person. Like,
you thought he was playing just as much as you were, or?
No, I think what it was, it's like, this could never happen. Like, people don't fall in love over messages online, like, this isn't real. As a matter of fact, around the same time, like, I actually had a crush in real life. That's how I would consider it. Real life. I am talking to someone. This is just someone I talked to on Facebook, right? So, literally, like, this person is just kind of like, I've been thinking about us a lot. And so that's when I was like, really, like, why, why have you been thinking? And they were like, because, I think I'm falling in love with you. Oh my God, dude. I got so scared. Because, at this point, I'm like, what do you mean? Like, we've just been talking about our interests and movies we like and blah, blah, blah. And like, how could you fall in love with me in like a month or so, you know? And I remember that at that time, there was this app called Voxer. Those of you guys that ever know what that was, it was a voice messaging app. And so it would connect to your Facebook. And so he would talk also on the Voxer. And so not only did he send me this message on Facebook, but he sent it to me on this app, like with his words saying, I'm falling in love with you. So it was real to me. And I was like, oh my God, like, how do I get out of this? And so I got scared. And I was like, this guy's 18, I'm 15. This guy is like already thinking of marriage and no sé qué. Like, I'm not about to do this. So I was like, I need to nip it in the bud. So I literally sent him a message, or I stopped talking to him for a couple of like days or whatever. I like turned off my Facebook or something, and I wasn't receiving any messages like whatsoever. I was so scared. And then I'm like, oh my God, what if he comes and finds me, even though there's no information? But like, still, I was just there.
You paranoid.
And then I thought, no, I'm going to create a story, and I'm going to.
Since you're good at those.
I'm good at that, you know, and I'll just, you know, do that. And so I sent him a message on Voxer, and I was just like, hey, you know, I'm so sorry I haven't been able to talk to you. You know, it's just that, you know, I was grounded. And he was like, what do you mean you were grounded? You know, and I was like, well, yeah, you know, like, I'm not supposed to have a Facebook. And, you know, my mom found, you know, all my messages, and, you know, I got really in trouble. Like, you know, it was just really bad. And he's like, how old are you? And I was like, I'm 15. And he was like, what do you mean you're 15? Like, there's no way that you could be 15. I'm like, no, yeah, I'm 15. That's why I'm grounded. That's why I, you know, pretty much like my mom confiscated, you know, everything that I have. And she saw all our messages. And, you know, she's really upset, you know, because you're older and blah, blah, blah. And I can't talk to you anymore. I have to block you and blah, blah, blah. So he was really like, what do you mean? Like, I thought I was talking to someone who was older. Up until this point, you know, there's never been any issues, you know, blah, blah, blah. And so he started crying.
Oh, wait, is this cringe or embarrassing?
It's both. So he starts crying, and he's, you know,
no.
He's really hurt. You know, he's like, I had envisioned, you know, like us together. You know, I had no idea that you were this young. Had I known, you know, I wouldn't have pursued you. And I'm like, yeah, you know, I'm 15.
Tough luck.
You know, I just turned 15. Really at it, you know, and he was like, you know, like, oh my gosh, you know. And so he's crying, and he sent me, he's like, well, you know, so this is our last conversation. I was like, yes, like, I can't, I'm literally like turning off my Facebook after this, you know, like I can't talk to anybody. I'm going to be supervised, lo que sea. So he's like, okay, well, I'm going to send you a couple songs, you know, because I'm sure that you're heartbroken too. And I was like, yeah.
Oh my God, he just took the time.
So he took the time. He sent me Cry Me a River from Justin Timberlake. And he sent something else that was like, I can't even remember. It was like blues or something. I don't know. And so he was just like, I'll never forget you. You know, I love you. And so I was just like, I love you too. And I honestly, like, just like this is all that I can do to get out of this. You know, immediately, like, I deleted all the conversations. I turned off my Facebook. I blocked this guy. Like, I was just like, oh my gosh. And I ran to my mom, and I told her everything. I told her everything.
Jesus.
And my mom was like, what is wrong with you? Like, what are you doing? Like, how did you even learn how to do a Facebook? And who are you talking to? Who is this person? I'm like, don't worry, Mom. I handled it.
Like the big girl I am.
Like, I told him this and this and this. And my mom was like, ay, niña, like, I cannot believe you did this. Dude, I was grounded for, I don't even know how long.
Yes.
Like, I didn't have privileges for years, pretty much. And, like, again, I go back and I think about that story, and I think about the other side and what this person is saying to other people. I remember this one time I met this girl on Facebook, and she was the one, man.
Oh.
She was the one. But, it didn't happen. And thankfully, this guy wasn't like, I'm going to wait for you or I'm going to go see you. I'm going to go try to talk to,
to your parents.
So.
Yeah.
No, so he was very much like, no.
Oh, yeah.
You're 15. I'm not going to talk to you. But it was still a time that I was like, I didn't even know that I had the capacity to pursue a conversation that long. And at that point I was like, oh, everything goes now. Like Facebook, Instagram, especially nowadays, you can fall in love and you can literally find someone on these social media sites. And so, yeah, that was the time I catfished someone and I didn't tell them my real age. And
oh, Jesus Christ.
It was bad.
Oh, God.
Yes, my husband knows this entire story. And so, yeah, a lot of these things, I remember the first time I told him we were already like talking and he's like, babe, you were creative. You were very creative.
For lack of a better word.
For lack of a better word. He's like, nah, babe, ni yo. So it was just one of those things.
Ay, pero, clear example que Dios tiene gracia.
Clearly. This is why I do believe that, like, I don't think kids are innocent. This is a completely different topic for a different time. But I don't think kids are innocent. I don't think
especially nowadays
are innocent. I mean, I'm not saying that, oh, si yo pudiera, because I'm soy tan santa. No. I'm saying that if someone like us could manage to fall into certain things and have had exposure to certain things, cuanto más no hoy, with people who have technology by the time that they're 2. You don't know what your kids know, and unless you're keeping to date with social media and what's out there, I mean, there's so many apps nowadays that you can download just to communicate, just to call. I mean, on Instagram you can video chat, you can call, you can, Snapchat is probably one of the worst ones, but like literally there's so many things that you can do to talk to someone and you wouldn't even know.
It's very interesting that you mentioned Snapchat because I remember when I got a Snapchat, it was very to send pictures with my cousins. And then along the way, it started turning into like very murky waters.
Yeah.
Snapchat. And then now it's all about like kids joke about, hey, send me your Snap.
Exactly.
Because now it's turned into, it's not just Snapchat,
yeah.
And that's probably why I rarely use it. In fact, I don't think I've used it all this past 3 years. Not a lot. Not to post, maybe to take pictures, the filters, whatever, but to post something, to message someone, menos.
Yeah.
But yeah, I remember when Snapchat started getting this reputation of that's where the murky waters happen.
Right.
Yeah. So, uy. Ay, pero Dios te dio tu esposo. See, that's what happens when you're patient. You wait it out. You wait on the Lord.
I am very blessed. Yes, I'm very blessed. Thanks to my husband. Thank you.
Yeah, because I mean, and this happened when you're growing up. Like you go through. I mean, I think it's nice that we have the two sides of the quarter in a way, because on one end you have someone that was very curious about the world, that was very like, I want to live all these experiences, and on the other end you have someone that's like, no, I'm scared, I don't want to, I'm putting it off. Yeah. But God still managed to, in a way, give you that, like, I'll be good to you and I'll give you your husband. And in a way, for me, it's like God managed to open my heart and to be like, no, okay, it might not be the time for marriage and all that you're envisioning, but it was the time to open your heart, to start seeing it, to start believing it. So, and I think that, like, again, it speaks about a lot about what our program is about, what our podcast is about, meeting halfway almost. Yeah. So for my embarrassing story, this happened not too long ago at church. Won't give a lot of names, but we've said it before. I'm a sucker for dad jokes. Are those what they're called?
Oh, okay.
And like anything Like anything that sounds silly, it's just funny to me. It's just really, really funny to me.
Humor, though.
My humor, like for example, one of my favorites is, ¿por qué la gallina cruzó la calle?
Vente pa' acá.
Porque su mamá le dijo, vente pa' acá.
That is cringy, you know? Honestly. Like,
Well, anyway, so I love those type of jokes. It's just, they're funny to me. Anyway.
you should see our memes.
And recently, I saw one that I like.
You just sent me a dad joke the other day.
Yeah, I did. No, and I have a lot more. There was one. Ay, no me acuerdo bien. Pero anyway, so those are my type of jokes. Anyway, so one day I go to the office and I tell one joke to Kes, and even she laughed. And so I thought, oh, it's good enough to share it with other people. Because usually my jokes, if I share them with the people I love and they're like, hi, Lula, you know, then like, okay, then I won't share it, you know?
Yeah.
But if the other person manages to laugh, it's like, okay, so this is a good one. Like, this is a good one to share, right? So I don't know if maybe you can, me puedes sacar de la duda hoy. I don't know if you laughed because you just felt bad for me or it was like pretty okay
It was funny.
joke.
Yeah.
Okay, so anyway, so that gave me confidence of like, oh, I can share it.
It was your delivery as well.
Yeah, so one day on a Sunday, you know, we're all busy and you know, and we're all running around trying to get a service started. And I find it the perfect time to share it with someone that's just perhaps even busier than I was, even more, a little bit more stressed than I was or whatever. And I'm like, okay, I'm going to share the joke.
No, you have to share the joke.
So I stopped this person on his tracks. And I'm like, so...
You did not just say so.
I was like, oh, you know, we did formalities. We did formalities, yes, you know, housekeeping stuff. And I was like, I have a joke for you. And this person looks at me like, okay.
Oh, humor me.
Yeah, humor me. And this person already also sort of knows that my jokes are kind of like, you know. But, so I'm like, ¿cómo se dice? Diarrea en africano. And he's looking at me like, really?
You're already starting there.
And did that stop me? No.
Looking at me signal.
I didn't read body language. I didn't read facial language. Nothing. I was like, so. And I'm already cracking up, guys. I'm looking at this person. I'm like, ¿cómo se dice? Diarrea en africano. And I'm cracking up. I'm laughing. And he's looking at me like, what? What are you talking about? And I'm like,
why me?
And then I say it. And se dice, abunda la caca.
My cheeks. I can't really imagine their face.
And then this person, I'm laughing, but at some point something in me was like, oh, I might have crossed a line right there. I am thankful.
Describe his face.
He was looking at me like this.
Like, what is wrong with you?
Not just what is wrong with you, but why?
Why me?
Yes. He questioned his existence. He questioned, why was I there?
All the equations are
Yeah.
in front of his face.
He was that meme of this lady like calculating. Why? Why? Like, not just why me, but why you? You know, and yes. And I'm looking at him like,
it's funny, huh?
but then obviously
I never knew how this ended, by the way. I don't know if like you said bye. I don't know what happened.
No, I felt the embarrassment rush. I felt that like, oh. And he looks at me like that, and then he turns away.
No way, you walked away. It hurts. It hurts. Oh my gosh. Wait. Okay, so you delivered your joke.
He looked at me for like
Oh my god.
max 5 seconds of like questioning. I was like, why? And then he goes. That's when I knew.
God.
Okay, at first when I saw his face and he wasn't laughing, that's
Did
when
you
I knew.
keep laughing?
Yes. Well, no. Okay, so I
You
said,
laugh loud.
I said, abunda la caca. You know, started laughing. Then my cue to stop was his face of
Right.
like.
Thank you for that. Oh my god.
I felt the embarrassment come. He turns around, he leaves, and I'm sitting there contemplating. I messed up. I really messed up. This isn't just embarrassing. I crossed a line.
Yeah.
I crossed a line, and I don't know how to come back from that. I think I avoided him the rest of the day. Or if we as so much had an interaction, I am 100% sure I couldn't look at him in the eyes. Like, it's just like, yes, amen. Lord be praised. And I remember I shared it with you, and you're like, really? Like, why would you do that?
Okay.
And then
It's because for me it was more of like any poop stories
exactly.
or any like poop jokes. It's only for a very specific audience. You know, some people will be like, "What? I didn't even know that." Because it's so funny. Because that same joke, when you told it to me, I told Joel, and I remember he was just like, just kind of like, really, really, babe, like that's it. So in my head, it was just like, if like Joel wouldn't even be the audience to like receive that, you know, cuanto más no, like some people, you know, that are just like,
Right,
that's
yeah.
not my humor.
Well, anyway, I don't know. Till this day, I don't know why I thought it was a good idea. Not only to say it
was
to
a funny
him.
joke.
No,
You
not
had
only
one person.
yeah, but like you said, like poop is not a topic for everyone.
But had you had at least like 3 people laugh, or was I the only?
You are the only reference. No, wait, no. Within my family, I sent that meme, and my sisters were laughing, and till this day, it's a running joke. Carmi says it, abunda la caca, you know.
Okay.
But those are my people.
Yeah.
Those are my family. When Carmi says it is funny, until it stops being funny. But, you know, I feel like they laugh more about the fact that I find it funny.
Yes.
You know,
Because a lot of the times that's what makes it fun.
exactly. I don't think they really vibe with my type of humor. I think they just think, man, like the way she's cracking up is just funny, or the way I find things funny is funny, you know?
Right.
Now, with this specific person, I don't know why. I think it was just one of those moments where God had to humble me. God had to really be like, no,
Not here.
And then I chose a very wrong time to say it. I think maybe, you know, this person would have been, because this person was very graceful. This person showed grace and compassion.
Walking away.
Despite them, I mean,
They're
what
more
else
like-
could he? Yeah, what else could this person have done? You know, I was thankful that he walked away. I was thankful, like, yes, please do not look at me anymore. Do not talk to me. No, like, leave. You know. So, but I feel like had I maybe chosen a different moment, he would have still found it not funny. But I feel like he would have been just like, you know, like whatever, he moves on with his day. But perhaps because I said it in such like a sacred time, like it's a Sunday, guys, it was before service, you know, and I thought it would be a good idea to say something uplifting.
It's because
And then-
we think those jokes are funny. Like, we're always joking about poop,
Yeah.
and just in general,
Yeah,
like
bowel
just
movements.
bowel movements. But that's our humor. We
Right.
find that very funny, and so I can understand your heart. Your heart was like, this is something that brings joy
Yes.
to me,
Like-
and to my friend, and why wouldn't I want to spread that joy?
My heart was, we were having a very stressful morning already, and I could see it in his face that he was having a more rough day than the common Joe or whatever. So I thought it to be a good idea to say something light, to say something funny. Little did I know is that to some people, and I get it, to some people, saying something funny in a time where you should be probably more serious, more
Yeah.
professional, así, could come off as like, you're annoying,
Yeah.
you're obnoxious, you're disrespectful, you are, you know, like that was very uncalled for, you crossed a boundary. And perhaps like I said, had I chosen a different time, it wouldn't have seemed as crossing a boundary. It would have just come off, it would have just come across as like
To
very
me,
mature. But
I don't think, like, after years of this, I don't think that it was the timing. I think it was the joke.
really,
I do think it was the joke. Like,
here I'm still trying to defend my joke.
no, I think it's a good joke, and I think it's a good joke for some people. But I think that had it been like for example, had it been the chicken joke, it would have been like like, okay, you know, but it would have still gotten some kind of reaction. Whereas,
So it was
like,
a caca part.
I think it was the caca part. It's like,
okay.
I don't know what to do with this.
Like, well, true. That is, I can agree with that, because there are people that do not like to talk about that.
Yeah,
you know, like,
some people find it extremely vulgar for anyone to talk about bowel movements, and there are some people that are like, oh.
so you're telling me he probably thought I was vulgar.
No, I'm just saying that there are some people that, like, I've heard that.
Another fear unlocked.
No, I mean, I've heard some people say this,
No, but it
where
is.
they're like, I don't want to be too graphic and I don't want to be disrespectful, but I threw up. And I'm like,
What?
what do you mean? Like, I'm just like, dude, like, I literally had a conversation with this other person, where, like, my insides were in the table. Like, I'm so descriptive. So I do
My
think
fart
that
was on the floor.
that's what I'm saying. I'm just saying that, like, some people are very conservative.
True. Yes.
When it comes to anything involving what goes on in our bodies. That, you know, and I also think that it's with the times, you know, because I think nowadays we're more, like, we have a poop emoji, you know, so, like, I think that because of that, we've become less conservative about certain topics, you know. I mean, this is a women's, you know, mainly women podcast. But for example, like, even talking about periods, I know that, like, for my mom, it was always like, you would never discuss that, you know, even amongst friends, even amongst, you know, much less a man, much less your husband or tu novio, lo que sea. And I remember growing up with that, like, why though? Like, they know that it happens. I know that it happens. Why are we acting like this is something that humans don't experience?
Yeah.
And so I think that's what it is. I think that it's a sign of the times, and it's also, you know, it's just not your audience.
That was a huge L for me. That was and the fact that it hasn't been too long. That is another L for me, because it's just. But hey, it happens to the best of us.
Yes, yes.
It happens to a lot of people where you're just like, you chose the wrong day, the wrong thing to say, and you just hope that the other person is graceful enough and more mature than you are to be, okay,
Thank you.
I'll just remove myself and move past it.
Yeah.
But that was just, it was not
That
a
was, oh my
good
gosh,
moment
that was
for
such a
me.
good story, guys.
It was not a good moment for me. It was not I usually embarrassing moments for me are like me caigo, me pego, something me pasa y ya me río y todo eso. Pero like the mug thing and this thing, they're very rare. But when they do happen, it's just like me quiero morir.
But see, that's the thing. Like, I think that's the thing about embarrassing stories and cringy stories. They leave such an imprint on you that you'll never do it again. Like, to me, it's just like, you know, the experiences that I've shared on this channel, like, I'm like, that was a different woman. That was a different person.
Yes.
Like, that is not who I am today. But I do think it's because of all the shame and all of the, like, like, why did I do that? Goes into that memory, and you're just like, I never want to ever feel that way again, you know? And it's funny, and I think that's why I share it and you share it, because it's also kind of like, you know, like, for example, like with my kids, like I feel like I would have understanding, but at the same time kind of like, you know, because of some of the experiences that I went through, you know. And I think that's what it does, you know. Right now, you know, there's someone that's doing something embarrassing right now, you know. And so it's like, it's a part of life. All you can do is take it with grace and, you know, grow from it, you know.
Yeah,
that's all you can really
definitely do. Well, guys, we hope this was an uplifting.
We hope you had a laugh attack with us.
Yes, please. And you know, embarrassing moments happen, and and cringy moments happen too. And I don't think 2023 will be the year where they don't happen.
Yeah.
So you know, let another resolution be, let's take them with grace.
Yes.
Let's take them with
Next
far
time
more
you
compassion.
meet a Lula that tells you something that you're like, take it with grace.
Next
time you're catfished,
take it with grace. And okay, I'll move on. You know, next time you're giving a mug, take it with grace.
or just don't give it.
Or just don't give it. Make sure the other person likes you back.
Yeah, so
make sure it's reciprocated.
either way, if you have anything to share, if you have an embarrassing story that you want to
or a
share,
cringe
or
moment,
a cringe moment, please leave it in the comments below. We would love to laugh with you guys. Otherwise, we will see you next time for season 2 in a completely different studio.
Yes, please subscribe to us. You know, we'll be, like we said last time, we'll be launching a lot of new stuff, not just the studio, but like in Instagram. We're currently now on Spotify, but we're really gonna push it, you know, a lot more. So please, you know, show us some love like you have thus far. We're really appreciative of all the love and attention you've shown and support, especially because we know a lot of the backbone is our family. So thank you so much for today, and God bless you. Bye.